Good morning, friends and family. There's a lot of things going on in the world today, yes? Absolutely. A lot of people are angry, fearful, upset, raged. There's a whole slew of negative emotions and projections going on from all sides. And what I wanted to share with us today is just a simple concept that I teach in our seminars that is going to help us to get through this difficult time, this time of fear, worry, concern, doubt, frustration, anger, and all the negative emotions. And that is that we are who we are, yes? We, in our own bodies, we're in first position. And then when we look at the other person or group or party that we're upset with or angry with, or we look at the other country or nation or population or religion or culture or ethnicity or whatever it is that we're upset with, right? That we're angry with, that we're fearful of, let's call that second position. And they say second position, never really talk about what another man feels unless you walk in his shoes, yes? So second position is seeing the other person's perspective from their vantage point, from their cultural experience, from the way they were raised, from their religion, from their point of view, from the skin color that they grew up with and what they were objected to or not objected to with that skin color. So seeing it from their perspective doesn't mean we have to agree with them, doesn't mean that we have to say that they're right, but just seeing how the other party sees it, looks at it, the world looks at it, yep. And then finally, the most important piece is the third position. And the third position is where we step out of ourselves, we step out of the other man or woman's shoes, and we step into third position. And in third position, we become an observer of both sides. We become like the neutral party. We become like the wise one. We become like the creator, whatever higher power creator we believe in, right? It depends on where we come from in our culture and our religion. And we start to see first position and second position through the eyes of these, through the eyes of the wise one. And what you start to see is that there's solutions outside of the box that both position 1 and position 2 is in. There's also a sense of freedom. There's also a sense of peace because you're not stuck into the either or. We call this dichotomies, actually, in our Master Prac training. We talk about dichotomies and how dichotomies is this idea of you're this or that. You're for us or you're against us. You're either for us or you're against us. Well, what happened to the third position, which is I'm neither for you or against you. I'm just neutral. I'm watching this, and I don't agree with either side. I see something else, maybe a mutual interest of both parties, maybe a bridge on how parties can come together. So I'm not picking names. I'm not picking sides. I'm not saying anything specifically. All I'm saying is that we need to free ourselves of the boxes and the chains of being in one side, looking at the other side and going, I hate you, I'm angry with you, I want to kill you, I want to end you. And we need to start to look at what is the future that we want to create. The most important thing I think everybody agrees with is we want happiness. We want freedom. We want prosperity. We want acceptance, we want love, we want peace, yes? And we cannot have any of those things when we're going about it in the context of my position against your position. Because as long as you constantly stay in that position, in my position against your position, it's always going to be a fight, it's always going to be an argument, and with that comes a never-ending argument, fight, conflict, and we don't end up with peace. We don't end up with peace. So I like to think of it as this. Let's take a step out. Even if we have the conviction that we're right and our position's right, go with that. That's fine. But just take a second to step out of your position, step into the other person's position or other group's position, see what they see, hear what they hear, feel what they feel. Probably they feel fearful. Probably they feel under attack. Probably they feel threatened. And what they're doing is just a defense mechanism to protect themselves, no different than what you're doing or I'm doing or any of us are doing. Step in there, and that will give us some insights, if anything, to help us communicate better and understand their position. And then finally step into third position. And when you get to third position, realize that you don't have to choose this or that. Realize that you are the creator of your experience of reality, that we all partake in creating the world as we want it to be. We're not powerless. We're not giving up our power to the people that make the decisions for us. Essentially, when we all unite with one vision, and what that vision is, we need to decide. For me, it's respect and honor other people's colors, races, religions, cultures, and unite. Sexual preferences, unite. And so we can only do that when we have a vision of what that is, and it's not stuck in our own box, stuck in our own attack mode to the other group, but more free of the boxes of this or that. And that's what I call third position. And when you get into third position, you'll feel the sense of freedom. You'll have the wiser mindset. You'll learn how to communicate more effectively to you yourself in first position and give yourself advice on what you should do. You'll learn how to communicate more effectively to the second party, right? And then you'll learn how to bridge. Essentially, what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, I think as a one mankind, humankind, we all agree that we want peace, right? Even when we say, hey, we want peace through strength and strength through, it's still essentially, if you look at the bottom line of what everybody's looking for, it's peace. And you can't get peace when you're focused on the problem, focus on projecting hate, anger to another group. You've got to free yourself, get yourself out of those triggered emotions, and get yourself into a place of smart thinking and helping bridge the gap with other people. So I'm going to kind of talk about this a little bit every so on. I'm going to give little insights with what we do in our conflict resolution program, because right now I believe more than ever it's needed. Yes, I love you, my friends. Post your comments. This isn't for me to be political. I'm not interested in being political. I'm interested in transformation of the planet. I'm not interested in picking sides, agreeing or disagreeing with anybody. I'm all about giving the planet tools to get to where it eventually wants to go, and for you to use those same tools for your own life, for your own relationships with your own family, with your own husbands and wives and kids and uncles and aunts, and use these tools in every area of our life. Because what we need to do is we need to start implementing some wisdom at home, in our own community, empower ourselves, empower our community, and then we can talk about empowering the world. So when you change, when I change, when we all change, that's when we actually affect change in the world. We have that much power. We got to start stepping out of the boxes and freeing ourselves to start thinking with more wisdom, with more love, with more grace and more unity. I love you, my friends. Share some comments. I'm going to come at you every so on this stuff, and we're going to start to elevate our consciousness to an even higher level. Okay? Talk to you soon.